What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Saturday, February 10th, 2024, and I have an emergency alert to share with you guys. Right now, it is 3:02 p.m. Eastern Time here in the United States, and we have some major breaking news coming in from the Middle East, Europe, and Asia. So, right now, we have three U.S. nuclear war command and control planes up in the air over the southern United States. And yesterday, we had five nuclear war command and control planes up in the air. So, U.S. nuclear forces are on high alert right now. And these planes are responsible for remotely launching all of our Minuteman III ICBMs. And they can also communicate with our submerged nuclear armed submarines. So, U.S. officials have confirmed today that the U.S. military shot down six drones launched by Iranian proxies at the U.S. base in eastern Syria, and they used short range air defenses to do that. My guess is they probably used the CRAM system. So, this is actually a record for these attacks on the U.S. bases. This is the most amount of drones that have been launched at a US base since October. Okay. And I warned you guys yesterday in my update that the Iranian proxies have threatened that they are going to increase attacks over the weekend on US bases. Well, it looks like they were not lying. And there was also apparently a missile attack on either that base or another base in eastern Syria. Okay, so two attacks today, a missile attack and then a drone attack. So very serious. We also have an escalating situation along the Israeli Egypt border. Egypt is threatening to withdraw from the 1979 Egypt Israel peace treaty if Israel moves forward with their military operation along the Gaza Egypt border. So that is huge news, guys. And Egypt has been moving all kinds of tanks, air defense systems, and they've been patrolling the border with helicopters. So Egypt is moving massive amounts of military equipment to the border with Gaza, and they're threatening to withdraw from their peace treaty with Israel, essentially threatening Israel. Okay. They're threatening Israel. If Israel goes into Rafah, which is that giant border crossing that the international community has been using to move aid into Gaza, Egypt may attack Israel potentially. Okay. So this is huge news, guys. This could spiral out of control into a full blown war between Israel and Egypt. Egypt has already said that that's their red line is if Israel conducts an operation along their border. Okay. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. But Egypt is moving massive amounts of tanks, armored vehicles, and aviation to the border of Israel and Gaza. And they're threatening to scrap that treaty. And apparently, the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, has called up reserves for this operation along the border with Egypt. So he's calling up reserves. That means it's going to be a huge operation. And we have some concerning information coming out of Poland. Apparently, there was a massive cyber attack in Poland of an unprecedented scale that shut down the internet across the entire country. Okay. And the authorities there are blaming it on Russia. And Russia has been doing GPS jamming over Poland, which has caused a lot of issues with air navigation. So the situation is continuing to escalate in Poland, the Baltics, and Finland. Okay, Russia is getting more and more aggressive. And I do believe that we could see a war break out in one of those countries very soon between Russia and NATO. And of course, NATO is doing this massive exercise, the largest exercise since 1988, since before the fall of the Soviet Union. 90,000 troops are in Eastern Europe right now, okay? And they're probably going to stay there after the exercise ends. Poland has set up a massive air navigation warning for half of their country, telling pilots that they should be prepared for unplanned military actions related to ensuring state security. Okay, so very, very serious situation over there. I'm going to continue to monitor it for you guys. We also have some concerning information that the Russian Air Force has deployed 9 nuclear bombers to an air base right across from Alaska. Okay, they deployed 9 of their Tu-160 Blackjack long range nuclear bombers. That's their premier nuclear bomber. That's their best nuclear bomber, is the Tu-160. It's very similar to our B-1s. They're not stealthy, but they're supersonic heavy bomber. And they deployed 9 of them right next to Alaska. And then over the last 3 days, they've sent like 5 or 6 bombers to the Alaskan ADIZ, Air Defense Identification Zones. So they got very close to Alaskan airspace, and we had to scramble fighter jets to intercept them. Okay. And U.S. defense officials are reporting that there are now preparations underway for a partial or even total withdrawal of the U.S. Army from eastern Syria and Iraq. So that is just absolutely crazy, guys. I mean, we're basically tucking our tail between our legs and running away, showing extreme weakness under the pressure of these Iranian proxies. And that's not going to help the situation. It's only going to embolden them even more. It's going to embolden Iran and all these forces in the Middle East that hate America and hate Israel. They're going to feel like this is a big victory. So, very serious news, guys. The U.S. is preparing to withdraw the U.S. Army from eastern Syria and Iraq. Okay? And preparations are underway to do that right now. And Iran has reportedly put its air defense systems on the highest level of combat readiness along the Persian Gulf. And we have a top German general warning that NATO must be ready for war with Russia within 5 years. Carsten Brewer, the Inspector General of the German Armed Forces, said that Russia has both the military potential and intention to extend its aggression beyond Ukraine. So, yet another European general saying that NATO has to be prepared for war with Russia within the next few years. Okay. And I think it's going to happen within the next few months. And Jens Stoltenberg, the leader of NATO, said that the West must be prepared for a decades-long confrontation with Russia if Putin wins in Ukraine. He said there's no guarantee that Russian aggression will not spread to other countries. Okay, so you see where this is going, guys. Originally, it was all about Ukraine and helping Ukraine defeat Russia, and now NATO feels like they can no longer help Ukraine and that Ukraine is basically going to lose. And so now they're panicking and they want to prepare for an all-out war with Russia, okay, because they know Russia's going to go after them next, okay? So this is very serious, guys, okay? We have multiple European generals now saying the same thing, and the leader of NATO saying that there's no guarantee that Russian aggression will not spread to other countries, okay? And there's thousands and thousands of Russian troops right next to Poland, right next to Lithuania, in Belarus. There's like 2 military bases in Belarus that are housing like 50,000 Russian troops each. Okay. And the Iranian foreign minister threaten Israel, saying that any step Israel takes towards a large-scale attack on Lebanon will be Netanyahu's last day. Wow. And the Israeli army has started to drop leaflets on the city of Rafah, calling for leaving the area in the northern direction due to an upcoming ground operation. Okay, so they're asking civilians to go north because there's going to be a ground operation there soon. So this could really ignite a full-scale war between Israel and Egypt. We'll have to wait and see, but I'll definitely be monitoring the situation. If anything escalates, I will go live 24/7 if I have to. And Saudi Arabia is warning of extremely dangerous repercussions if Israel launches their operation in Rafah. And Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and Jordan have all warned Israel against military action in Rafah. And apparently, the son of the leader of Hamas was killed as a result of an Israeli airstrike in Gaza. Hazem Haniyeh, son of Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh, was reportedly killed in this airstrike. That is absolutely huge news. And I want to just show you this video here of these leaflets being dropped over the city of Rafah. Check that out. Okay, so these leaflets are just telling civilians to leave because the Israeli military is approaching. Okay, so you can see the people standing there and then the leaflets right above them. Okay, if anyone's doubting that this is real, okay, you can see the people there at the market. And then the camera pans up and you can see the leaflets there. Okay. And here's the location of that air base in Russia where Russia has deployed several of their Tu-160 supersonic nuclear bombers, okay, literally 400 miles away from Alaska. And this update was sponsored by My Patriot Supply. Guys, My Patriot Supply is doing a limited time sale on their 1-year emergency food supply. They're going to drop the price by $700 for this week only. The sale expires February the 11th, 2024. This 1-year emergency food supply has a 25-year shelf life. It's all contained within 24 rugged water-resistant buckets. Free shipping is included. $700 off. To get the deal, go to preparewithnyprepper.com. The link is in the description below this video. They're also doing a discount on the Alexa Pure Pro Water Filtration System. They're doing an $80 discount. Normally the price is $280. They've dropped it down to $200. And this water filtration system filters out bacteria, heavy metals, chemicals, various types of pesticides, and agricultural byproducts. And the best thing is that it does not need electricity to work. It's powered by gravity, so you can take this with you anywhere if you're going camping, if you're bugging out, if you lose power at home, okay? Or you could use this every day just for everyday use to purify your well water rather than installing a special treatment system that could cost thousands, okay? So to get the deals, go to preparewithnyprepper.com. The link is in the description below this video. $80 off the Alexa Pure Pro Water Filtration System and $700 off the My Patriot Supply 1-year emergency food supply. Guys, if you buy this thing, you're pretty much set for any scenario. Now, they also have a general store where they sell all kinds of prepping and survival items. They have a wide variety. To get to their general store, when you go to preparewithnyprepper.com, you click on the top of the page, the logo here, My Patriot Supply. Click that logo, and it'll take you to their general store, and they have everything you need. Okay, so check it out, preparewithnyprepper.com. The link is in the description below this video. There's been a lot of unusual military activity around the country the past week or so. I have a subscriber in Indiana that told me they saw E2 radar planes flying over their area, which is extremely unusual for Indiana because E2s are used on aircraft carriers. And even in my area, I've seen a lot of stuff. I saw a few C-130s flying over, which is not too common. So, this military buildup here in the US is continuing. And I don't know if they're preparing for war with Russia, war with China, or Middle Eastern war, but it's very noticeable. I get multiple emails a day from people telling me that they're seeing various types of aircraft in their area that they normally don't see. So keep sharing that information with me, guys. Keep me posted on what's going on. And Taiwan detected 8 Chinese balloons over and around their territorial airspace yesterday. And this is a new record for the number of Chinese balloons dispatched in a single day over or near Taiwan. Okay. So China is increasing their activity around Taiwan. And the Asia Times is reporting that the Philippines is rapidly building up their military. Okay. So lots of stuff going on in Asia. We also just deployed another aircraft carrier strike group to the Western Pacific. And I want to just show you guys some interesting flight paths here in Europe. Last night, we had 2 U.S. Air Force VIP planes go to Poland last night. Okay, 2 Learjet C-21As arrived in Rzeszów, which is that city in Poland close to Ukraine where all the international aid has been going through. So very interesting. One went from Germany to Rzeszów, and one went from Warsaw to Rzeszów. So this is very interesting. In the middle of the night, 2 Air Force VIP planes going to this airport in Poland, or air base now in Poland. Very interesting. And the U.S. conducted more strikes on Yemen last night. On February 9th, between the hours of 3 a.m. and 9:40 p.m. Yemen time, U.S. Central Command forces conducted self-defense strikes against 2 mobile unmanned surface vessels, 4 mobile anti-ship cruise missiles, and 1 mobile land attack cruise missile that were prepared to launch against ships in the Red Sea. So this is crazy, guys. The Houthis are increasing their attacks, but we're not hearing about it in the mainstream media. We're not hearing about it at all, but they're actually increasing their attacks. They're sending more of these unmanned surface vessels, and they're now using mobile land attack cruise missiles. Okay, so they've increased the types of weapons that they're using. They were originally just using drones and anti-ship missiles, and now they're using land attack missiles and unmanned surface vessels. Okay, so they're trying to fool us by using multiple different types of weapons to see what will work and what won't. And I'm telling you, it's just a matter of time before one of these missiles hits one of our warships, and then we'll see what happens after that. That could totally escalate, but the Biden administration has promised to deal with them, and they really haven't dealt with the issue. And same thing with these Iranian proxies. They said that, oh, we're going to have a multi-stage operation to deal with the Iranian proxies, and the first strike you see is not going to be the last, blah, blah, blah. Well, they're continuing to attack our ships and our bases. Okay, so that was just another lie by the Biden administration. And here we have a picture showing the amount of Chinese and Russian military activity near Japan and Taiwan so far this year. Just in the last month or so, 404 Chinese aircraft were detected around Taiwan. 400 Chinese aircraft, military aircraft. Okay, 400 just in the last month or so. That's insane. 185 Chinese warships. Okay, 69 spy balloons 93 incursions into Taiwan's air defense identification zone. So it's clear to me that China is building up for an operation against Taiwan. It's just a matter of time. So I'm going to monitor that situation as well. And if anything pops off, I will go live 24/7 as needed to cover the situation. And the Israeli Defense Force conducted a raid recently on the headquarters of the United Nations Relief and Works Agency, the UNRWA, within the Gaza Strip, leading to the discovery of a large server and data farm operated by Hamas and other Palestinian terror groups for communication and intelligence capabilities. Wow, that's really interesting. And overnight and this morning, more anti tank guided missiles and mortars were launched from Lebanon towards Israel, and Israel responded with airstrikes near the town of Nabatiyeh, causing major damage. And the Senate voted 64-19 to continue debate on aid for Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan. And a Russian drone attack struck a gas station in Kharkiv, Ukraine, creating a large fire that engulfed 15 residential homes and killed at least 13 people, including 3 children. Local authorities reported over 50 residents had to be evacuated. Okay, so Russia launching a massive drone attack on Kharkiv yesterday. And Finland has approved a $200 million aid package for Ukraine. And Norway announced that they're going to be giving 10 NASAMS air defense systems to Ukraine, which will include 4 fire control centers. So that's pretty impressive. I think so far they've only given Ukraine like 2 of those NASAMS. Now they're going to give them 10. That is huge. And obviously, Norway is concerned that there's going to be more missile attacks on Ukraine this year because Russia has been rapidly rebuilding their missile supplies. So I think we could see more massive missile attacks this year on Ukraine and potentially a large ground operation near Kharkiv Oblast. And Romania had to scramble F 16s last night amid a Russian drone attack on the Odessa Oblast in Ukraine. And Zelensky discussed Ukraine's defense needs by phone with Macron. And Biden and Olaf Scholz are going to be meeting in Washington, D.C. to discuss U.S. aid for Ukraine. Olaf Scholz is the Chancellor of Germany. And Polish farmers have blocked 3 checkpoints along the border with Ukraine. A spokesman from the Polish Border Guard Service confirmed. As of this morning, about 1,300 trucks were lined up at these checkpoints. So they've held up 1,300 Ukrainian trucks trying to get through. And I will show you guys some footage of that. And the Estonian military is showing off their new anti-ship missile. And what's interesting is the picture here shows the range of this anti-ship missile. And you can see it includes parts of Russian territory. Okay, so they're saying that they could strike deep into Russian territory, that they could hit some of Russia's key facilities in the western part of Russia near St. Petersburg. So Estonia is obviously concerned about something. They said they're going to build 600 bunkers along their border with Russia. So things are really escalating over there. And here we have footage from the Polish-Ukrainian border, all these Polish farmers blocking the border and basically protesting the flood of cheap grain coming in from Ukraine that is threatening their livelihood. So that's the latest information that I have. I will be back later on this evening with more breaking news. So make sure you're subscribed. Hit the bell icon down below so you get notified when I post these updates. And until then, take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps: prepare, practice, and persevere.